Okay, so there I was a couple nights ago, laying on the couch, earbuds in my ear, at like 1 a.m. in the morning, all alone, listening to My Chemical Romance. And out of context, I was even thinking to myself at the time, I was like, if I were to tell somebody what I was doing right now, they'd probably just ask me if I was okay. Like, out of context, that sounds depressing and maybe a bit concerning. In context, it was, look, this is the next group that I've decided, like, I'm going to listen to their albums. And yeah, I guess to kind of just give some basic context, I only mean the studio albums because that's generally what I do when I listen to an artist. It's like, what would the casual fan listen to? So the casual fan's probably not going to hear all the EPs, the LPs, the hidden tracks listed only in like the live album compilation kind of stuff. It's just, what is the general just stuff that comes out? And if I really like a group, maybe I'll go a little above and beyond. And to my surprise, My Chemical Romance only has 4 albums. There's, oh my goodness, I'm not going to get the full title of the first one. I didn't write it down. But it's like, You Gave Me Bullets, I Gave You My Love. It's something close to that. I'm just going to refer to the first album as Bullets. Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, The Black Parade, The Black Parade, and, what's the full title of Danger Days? It's Danger Days. I think it's The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. But it's only 4 albums. I thought it would have been a whole lot more. Maybe because I think the group broke up after Danger Days and they like just got back together relatively recently. So maybe there'll be a new like studio album. And I'm going to go and say it. If there is, my ass is going to be listening to it day one. Because I really, really enjoyed listening to MCR, man. But as I was kind of saying, it's like out of context, this might sound a little concerning. In context, I'm just starting a new group and, I just have some nice relaxing time to myself at 1 in the morning. Let's start. And the reason I say it might sound kind of depressing or concerning is because of the reputation that MCR has, at least the reputation that I think they have. And I could be totally wrong. Their vibe might be something completely different. But I think the best way I could describe what my impression of My Chemical Romance was, goth Linkin Park. Teenage Kraken, if I'm, doing the whole marquee thing. I don't know why I did it for that. But goth Linkin Park, where I'm expecting lyrics that are going to be like really sad, really angry, possibly both. And I mean this part in the best way possible. The kind of music I would be listening to when I was 16. When I was, not doing great, struggling a lot with depression. Not to say that I'm now doing phenomenal and I don't struggle with depression. I'm still human. It's still very much a thing I struggle with. But something that at like those times in my life when I feel particularly low, that I would find comforting, if not outright cathartic. And actually listening to the group. That's not untrue. Let me rephrase that. I feel like the comfort and catharsis is something I would still get if I was listening to it in like a depressed state. But goth Linkin Park doesn't feel apt. Having listened to all 4 studio albums, I'd say more goth Fall Out Boy. Because, and I say this as someone who loves Fall Out Boy, it's just that, number one, especially in like the first 2 albums, the very long, like verbose, tongue-in-cheek song titles is like, okay, like that's just like what every song was in Bullet. So like I wasn't expecting this, but okay. You do get songs that can be very, how did I actually write it? Sorry, let me check my notes on some of this stuff. Yes, the term I wanted to use, because I don't want to say whiny, because like I 100% don't want to say that. But there are songs that can be very sad. There are songs that can be very emotional. But there can also be songs that are honestly just really fun, and like even if they are being sad and emotional, can still like kind of make me laugh as they're happening. And there's a non-zero amount of bits to the Black Parade in particular that really had that vibe. Like literally just the first two songs, which like I'll talk about each individual album in a second. But just the first, like the opening of the Black Parade to me is that perfect example of it is being really emotional and sincere, but it's being really funny about it, and I really enjoyed it. Like, I found it super endearing. I feel like I should also kind of say, before I started this, what was my familiarity with their catalog? I was like, this is what I thought the vibe was, and having listened to all 4 albums, I think my impression was close, but not quite. In terms of their catalog, I don't think I had listened to any song from Bullets. From 3 Cheers, Helena, I think Helena is how you pronounce it, but I could be totally wrong, which I will say, I've been hearing a lot recently, like because I have Sirius XM radio, and I've been hearing it a lot lately on the radio, so it's just kind of off and on been stuck in my head, and I really like the song. I think it was kind of, I had already kind of decided I was going to do MCR next, and the fact that I kept hearing this song, I'm like, I should really get on to listening to MCR. Thank You for the Venom, and I'm just going to put a pin in that for when I, like, really talk about 3 Cheers. I guess I'll talk about some of these songs individually as well when I do that, but Thank You for the Venom is one I was aware of, although I didn't remember how the song went. And Cemetery Drive, which is a song that I still really, really like. That, like, it's a song that I've known, honestly, like, since I was, like, 16 or so, and I've always really liked it. And then from the Black Parade, you have the eponymous Welcome to the Black Parade, which is honestly probably one of my favorite songs of all time. And Teenagers, which, to be honest, for a really, really long time, I just didn't like, and like I'll get to that a bit more when I get to the album. And last year, I think it was last year, might have been the year before, but I listened to a parody cover album where a guy sang the entirety of the Black Parade doing an impression of the Joker. And he even specifically says in the thing, like, this is not AI, like, this is something I freaking did. Like, I think what he had said was, like, I was working on my Joker impression, and I found that one of the best ways to really get a voice and to, like, know this is how you're voicing this character is to sing. And so I was singing the Black Parade, and like I was having a lot of fun with it. So I just covered the entirety of the Black Parade, which was the first time I ever listened to the album in its entirety. And I'm gonna be honest, now that I have context, I'm gonna be doing it again, probably later tonight, if not tomorrow, because I really, really love this album, y'all. That, and then from Killjoys, I don't know, I'd maybe heard like Na 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 before, and I've heard Sing, and Sing is a song that I absolutely love. So that was like my understanding, my familiarity going in. So now going through each album, starting with Bullets, as going in order. This album was more or less kind of what I was expecting from MCR, but one thing I really want to highlight is I loved the instrumentation on this album. And not to be like, I loved it on this album, the rest of them suck. It's like, no, the instrumentation starts really good, and it like just kind of stays. Like a little bit ago, not from Bullets, but I was listening to just the instrumental version of Sem Drive. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this song is like way better than I ever thought it was. And I've been listening to this song for like 10 plus years. This is really, really good. Because I think Romance is the name of the first song on Bullets, and it's an instrumental, and it's my favorite song on the record. And on the one hand, I feel bad about that. I'm like, yeah, the one song that doesn't have the lyrics, it doesn't have Gerard Way singing is my favorite. But I generally really like the lyrics to a lot of these songs, and I really like Gerard Way. I just thought this was a really cool song and like a really strong start to the album. It had this very like desperado, like kind of vibe to it that I just really liked. And there was one other song that there was one other song I wanted to highlight from Bullets, because I'm sorry, I don't have a whole lot to say about it, was Vampires Will Never Hurt You. Because while listening to it, I was like, this is okay. Like, I like it fine. It's just not really doing it for me. And then by the end of the song, I'm like, no, I actually really liked it. I couldn't tell you what changed, or I could tell you what changed. It was my impression of it. I couldn't tell you why. It just happened. And I was like, you know what? This is just kind of fun, and I'm really enjoying it. And, I was, like, looking through the comments while I was listening to the song as well. And I think, like, some of them were like, okay, like, friendly reminder, this is Gerard Way's favorite MCR song. It's like, oh, yeah, like, I was at a show where he is like, this is my favorite song we've done. And then they start playing this. And then I think one comment, it might have been that same one, was talking about how they were doing a show and they started playing this like as the sun was going down and the moon was rising and it was like a blood moon. Like, that sounds sick as hell. Like, that sounds so cool. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I really want to go see an MCR show now. Like, after listening to these albums and having such a good time, I really want to, like, I don't know if they're currently touring. I have no idea if they're gonna be anywhere close to where I'm at, but I kind of need to check now because I think this would be really, really fun. But the last thing I want to say about Bullets, though, is, like I was saying a couple days ago, I was listening to it around 1 a.m. It was kind of helping me go to sleep, which is weird when I've got Gerard Way, like, singing, like, really loud and really aggressive, because Bullets, I think I'll say this, Bullets to me kind of had that more like goth Linkin Park vibe that I was expecting, with Fall Out Boy definitely in the song titles, like the Vampire song is like, this feels like more goth Fall Out Boy than Linkin Park. But it was weirdly soothing. And again, not like a, man, I'm going through a really hard time right now, and this is exactly what I need. And just more of Gerard Way's dulcet tones were lulling me to sleep. And it was kind of awesome. And then, like, the dog, like, I didn't finish the album. Like, I'd listened to a chunk of it. I was like, I actually just kind of want to sleep. And then the dogs, like, made me get up, and at that point, I'm a little more awake. But then I finished it the next day, and not long after that, probably like 10 minutes after that, maybe less, I went ahead and put on 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. So, I will say that 3 Cheers, overall, I did just enjoy more than Bullets. Like I've said, I've been listening to Helena a lot on the radio, and I've just really enjoyed it. It's a strong opener. I think I even, like, as I was going through the album, like, I mean, I want to listen to the rest of the album, but then I have to stop listening to the first song, because I think I just replayed it a couple times. Interlude, it was, it was a very short song, but I was like, this is, like, kind of heavenly. Like, I'm loving, like, just the way that Gerard is singing in this song, and it's really short, but it's like genuinely beautiful, and I really liked it. So thank you for the Venom. I have to highlight this song because this was, sorry, I'm like wiping some of the sweat off my brow. So it's a bit warmer than I was expecting. I'm going to take my glasses off. I think that's part of it. I wanted to wear my glasses so I could read my notes easier, but ow. My point. It is a song title where I went, number 1, that sounds cool as hell. Number 2, it's familiar, but I can't place it. Like, I could not tell you a lyric from this song. It has just escaped my mind. But looking at the title, it was reminding me of the ABBA song, Thank You for the Music. So in my head, unable to remember the lyrics or, like, the like melody, I'm just thinking to myself, thank you for the venom, for giving it to me. And this was in my head for like a couple days. And then the song starts playing and the lyrics start. And I'm like a sleeper agent who's been woken up because I'm like singing along as it's happening because I do know this song. I did used to listen to this song a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, it all just fucking came back to me. And it was just a really funny thing to happen. And then the other song I really want to highlight is Cemetery Drive. Because I remember, I think I was 16, maybe I was 15, and I had made a friend online. I think his name was Leo from, where's Leo from? I want to say from like the Netherlands, from Holland. And it was a song that he had shared with me because it was something that was very personal to him. I think it was something that was very personal to him because of his girlfriend who had not taken her own life, but I think she'd maybe tried or she'd like threatened to do something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember him sharing it with me and I just really liked it. And it's a song that I've always kind of liked. Every now and then it'll pop into my head and it'll just kind of stay there because it's really catchy. And that's something, I think that's one of the main things I want to highlight about MCR is, and I'll really talk about that in the Black Parade, I think I will just talk about it when I get to the Black Parade, because I think it's easier for me to articulate when talking about that album. But overall, I really enjoy, I was talking about Cemetery Drive. I got my wires crossed for a moment there. But it's a song that I've always really liked. It's a song that's always kind of like had some like weight and meaning to me. And something I learned is that apparently in the second verse, when it's the like, singing songs that make you slit your wrists, it isn't that much fun staring down a loaded gun. Apparently it's like during that part, or maybe like a little bit after, like during like the way down section, Gerard is like whispering in like the backing vocals, "Don't do it." And I've heard some people say that they can hear it. Some people say like, dude, like I've listened to just the instrumental version, I can't hear it. I like can almost kind of sort of hear it. Like I can kind of hear something, and I don't know if that is it or not, but it's like, number one, if that's the case, I think that's really cool. Just, how do I want to say this? Because I don't want to be like, hey man, I am pro subliminal messaging. But I really like that idea of, writing a song about, suicide and losing someone to that. And like the emotional fallout of it. And the subliminal messaging in the song is begging people not to do it. I think is really, really cool. And I think that's kind of, it's why when I'm saying like my impression, like this was my impression of MCR, and I think I was kind of close, but I was definitely wrong, is because the kind of impression I had of MCR going in is that it would have been more like, no, like, if that's how you gotta cope however you can. Where in reality, the music is a lot more uplifting than I would have thought. It still speaks to, like I said, it could be very sad, it could be very emotional. Like it speaks to like real feelings that people go through. But instead of a more like, hey, give up, or hey, just like be angry, it's keep fighting. Don't do it. Which I think is a really good transition into the Black Parade. Because it's an album about death. It's an album about dying. And a lot of just the feelings that come with that on like all different sides. And the album starts off like so tongue-in-cheek. And it's amazing. Like the end and Dead are just like so fun. And I'm like, I wasn't expecting this, but this is awesome. And it's what I mean when I say, like, it's so catchy. Because I'm just, like, thinking to myself, like, over the last couple days. Because yesterday, I guess I should kind of explain that. So, it was 2 nights ago was Bullets. And then yesterday was the back half of Bullets, 3 Cheers, and then the Black Parade. And then as soon as I finished it, like, within a few minutes, I just threw it on again because I was like, this was just really good. Like, I liked these songs. I liked the way they, like would flow into each other. I liked the music. I liked the vocals. I liked the lyrics. You know, like, I feel like I should be really sad when he's like, dead, hospital bed. I'm like, this is so catchy. Like, this is great. What do you mean I could have been listening to this for years? What the hell? I missed out. And then this morning, instead of going straight into Killjoys, I learned that there was, like, a tribute album, so I listened to the tribute album to Black Parade, and then I was like, okay, I should just move on to Killjoys, but I kind of just want to throw on Black Parade again. I did it. I did move on to Killjoys, but that's kind of my point, where I'm like, yeah, the Black Parade is fucking goated, and everyone knew that except me. But I knew it had that reputation that, like, this is, like, considered, like, one of the best albums of all time. What do you want to call it? A goth album, Nebo album, a punk album, a rock, like, whatever. There's so many different labels, whether the fans put those labels on, the band does, or the media does. There's so many, like, boxes you could potentially put MCR in or put this album in. And regardless of what box they're in, it's still just fantastic. I loved this album. And I'm like, yeah, I could throw it on again, and I really want to. And, you know, me kind of joking that, like, man, this is the kind of music I would listen to when I was, like, 16, where I listened to, like, a lot of, like, 3 Days Grace. I listened to a lot of 3 Days Grace. Like, that was my shit. I think 1X was the first album I ever purchased. I don't know if that's my most listened to album, but, like, there's an argument for it. But I'm like, man, if I'd listened to this album, like, around that time, like high school, early college years, Black Parade would probably be my favorite album of all time. Because even as an adult, and as I've said, like, I'm not in that state right now. And I'm still like, this is just great. If I were to listen to it in that kind of state, I think the word I could best use is I'd feel empowered. Because as sad as it is, the energy that it has, its ability to, you know, still kind of be funny about it. There's, like, this through line of strength. At least that's how, like, I don't even want to say interpret, but it's, like, what it does to me and, like, how I feel listening to it. Like, looking at some of the songs, hey, Welcome to the Black Parade, it's just one of my favorite songs of all time. But yeah, like, it starts with that just iconic piano note, and it's, like, sad, but then it's, like, screaming, and then there's this energy, and it's not, like, an angry scream. It's just, like, here is this story about when I was a child, and, like, one of, like, my core memories, and it's important to me. And then it just gets epic and exciting, and I've always fucking loved this song. And then you've got Teenagers, which, like I said earlier, it's like, I used to hate this song. And it's because I just found the chorus really annoying. And it's like, yeah, I get the point. Why are we just saying the same line like 20 times? I'm kind of sick of it. And it's like with the vampire song, I couldn't tell you what's different now. Or I couldn't tell you why it's different, but, like, yeah, this is great. I will specifically highlight on the tribute album, because overall, like, I liked all these covers. I mean, there was maybe, like, 1 or 2 I didn't care for, but I think it's a way better tribute album than, what is it? Making Sense, I think is what it's called. The, Shoot, Talking Heads, thank you. Because I did the Talking Heads albums last year. I watched the concert movie, and then I also listened to the tribute album, and like some of the tribute album, like Paramore's Burning Down the House, like A+, phenomenal. And then you've got like whatever Once in a Lifetime was on that album. It was not good. This, I was like, everything at least sounds like good, and I'm enjoying it. The Teenagers cover was the only song I was like, I have to listen to that again. That was really good. I really like the instrumentation used here. But I think a really good example of what I mean, it's like feeling more, I see like the sun is going down too. Maybe I should turn the light on. That doesn't really help that much. Maybe a little bit. Is the song Cancer. Like, listening to it on the tribute album, it's the 21 Pilots version. And it definitely sounds like sad, tired. Like, this is someone who is given up the fight and knows that their time, like, for whom the bell tolls, the bell's tolling for them. And the hardest part of everything that they're going through is saying goodbye to the people they love. But then the MCR version, like, you still have that, but it doesn't feel like they've quite given up yet. Like, there's still that strength. There's still, and not like, I think I'm gonna make it through, but almost like, I'm not letting anyone see me like this. I'm going to be as strong as I can for as long as I can. I'm not done fighting yet. Sorry, I just remembered Blood. Cal, it's up. I'm just the human wreckage that you love. Also, I know I'm very all over the place, but I had said I first listened to Black Parade as like a Joker. Okay, it's getting really dark. Sorry, I don't know why I look like Super Red. My brain, though, especially with the song Blood, was just like a freaking Susan parody cover album. Just blood, gallons of the soul, and just the human wreckage that you love. Like, oh my gosh, that is so Susan coded. I love it. But sorry, let me actually look back at my notes, because I think there's a couple other songs I wanted to highlight. I'm saving Famous Last Words for kind of like my final point in the video, though. Oh, right. I just wanted to note that Mama, like, great song. Really like it. I was not expecting Liza Minnelli to show up on an My Chemical Romance album, and that really threw me off. Not like, what is she doing here? This doesn't work. It's great. Like, she does a phenomenal job. It's just, like, I was not expecting this at all, and I think it's just really cool. Oh, Disenchanted. That's, I think, the other song, or is it it's either Disenchanted or Disenchantment. Sorry if I got it wrong. Is another song I just really, really liked on the album. The sad song with nothing to say, just a lifelong wait for a hospital stay. Like that chunk has been stuck in my head for 2 days straight now. It's just catchy. It's just good. What's the song? It's I Don't Love You. That's it. I Don't Love You. Every time I hear like the start to the song, I'm almost tricked into thinking I'm listening to Yellow by Coldplay. It's not like one-to-one, clearly. Like, it's close. It's really similar, and I'm just like, why does this sound like Yellow? And then my Susan brain just goes like, hey, I like Yellow. Anyways, Black Parade, phenomenal. Like, easily my favorite. And then Danger Days, I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it had a lot of energy. It definitely feels like more pop-ish, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I remember last year when I listened, I went through Linkin Park, and I got to One More Light. I'm like, this this is interesting. You know, like Hybrid Theory, I think is great, and then Meteora. Personally, I actually like Meteora a little more than Hybrid Theory, but I like them more or less evenly, and then Minutes to Midnight I'm also very partial to. Like, these are all really good, and this still all feels like the same group. And then, I don't remember what the next one was. Oh, I don't remember. But I think it's like the next 2 albums, like, okay, this is like really instrumental, and 1,000 Suns, I think 1,000 Suns is the next one. Like, this is like really instrumental and different. And then I think Hunting Lessons is the next album, which maybe I'm getting that wrong, but like this also sounds very different from Linkin Park, but sounds like the group that made 1,000 Suns. And then One More Light, I'm like, oh, okay, this is weird. Not that I disliked it. One More Light in particular is a phenomenal song, but I'm like, huh? Okay. I think I remember when I was listening to Fall Out Boy, like when I got to Mania, I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, because I will say I am generally someone that likes an artist experimenting, even if I'm like, this is the style I know you for and I like. Go try other stuff, you know, like a creative expression, you know? But I was like, what is Mania? There are some songs on there I really like. What is it? Stay Frosty, Royal Milk Tea, I think is like the name of the first or the second song. I really liked that one, but overall, like, I didn't super care for it. My point is, this definitely felt like the more pop album, but didn't go, like, so far the way, to me, that some of those other ones did. And, like, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was really fun. What is that? Okay, sorry. And then I just said that, to me, Sing is like the standout song of the album, because like I said, it's a song that I already know, and it's one I've always really, really liked. And sorry, I was actually just trying to see what my notes were, because I was like, my brain was going and I was also reading, and I just had 2 different thoughts at once. So just, yes, to me, Sing is the standout, and it's a song I've always really, really liked. I do kind of want to listen to the album again and get another vibe for it. But alas, that's going to be a problem, because I have like 20 years of not listening to the Black Parade that I need to catch up on. So, as you could probably guess from everything I've said, like my album rankings, I would say I think I have Danger Days a little bit below Bullets. But I do want to listen to it again, and I think if I listen to it again, I'd probably end up putting it above Bullets. 3 Cheers is, like, solidly at my number 2, and then The Black Parade is, like, for me, easy number 1. So, something I did at the end of my video on Migment, I'm sorry, it's just really fun to say that, but when I was talking about the management, is like, what do I think from listening to the studio albums? Like, what would I say is like their mission statement? And for MCR, to me, it's famous last words. It is just that I am not afraid to keep on living. I am not afraid to walk this world alone. And, you know, there's another line after that. I think it's like, honey, if you stay, I'll be forgiven. But then nothing you can say can stop me going home. To me, that's it. And I think you get some of that in Cemetery Drive, specifically in that, like, don't do it. That I'm not afraid to keep on living. And I'm not afraid to walk this world alone. It's something I also really get from Sing. It's sing it for the world. Like, you, whoever you are, you have something. There is something genuinely unique and wonderful and beautiful about you that no one else has. You have a light that is unique to you that you can bring and you can shine on other people. And don't ever be afraid to shine that light. Don't ever be afraid to express yourself. And I think it should kind of be implied as well. It's like, so long as it doesn't hurt other people. But don't be afraid to keep living And don't be afraid to be alone if you have to. But make sure that nothing they say will keep you from going to where you've got to go. And I really liked that. So, I think that's it. I guess I should say, like, what's my favorite song? It's probably still Welcome to the Black Parade. Like I said, it's like, this is already one of my favorite songs ever. And yeah, I mean, their other songs being really, really good doesn't change that. Sorry, trying to move more into the light, but it's just making me look all like red and kind of nasty. Famous Last Words, I think, is definitely a contender. I think Sem Drive and Sing are still contenders. Helena is a contender. Honestly, probably most of the Black Parade. I think I just kind of want to count that album in its entirety as like, this is my favorite song. There we go. I need to go listen to it again. But so, that's it. Overall, so glad I listened to MCR. So glad that I'm going to be listening to a lot more of them in the future. And like I said, if there is a new album coming out, I'm definitely going to listen to it. I actually need to check if there's a show anytime soon-ish in a place that I'm close to, because I am definitely going to want to go.